You know, one of the things that I'm sure hardly anybody knows about me is I've been a solo adventurist since I was probably 9 or 10. Some of you may know this individual, but I first met Sam Gribley when I was about 9 years old, and he was my childhood idol because we were near in age, and he was my childhood hero. Now, some of you may have heard of Sam Gribley because Sam was the subject of a story written by Gene George back in the late 50s. And so by 68, 69, 70, yeah, there was people around back then. Uh, if you read that book, you were enthralled with Sam Gribley and his adventure of leaving his life in the city and going and making his own way in the outdoors and just living an incredible adventure. But he also realized when enough was enough and that he probably ought to call it quits and go home. So I probably read the book 50 times, saw the film 25 times, and he was my hero and my role model, and I always wanted to run away with a raccoon and a falcon and live in a tree. Well, when I was 20, I probably could have got away with that, but need a few more creature comforts these days, so here we are. And then again, later in my life, came in touch with a guy named Dick Pronicki. And Dick, at the age of 50, about the same age where I discovered him, left it all behind. And I thought you were going to pee there, Fisher. That would have been embarrassing. Left it all behind, moved to Alaska, and built his own cabin, and then spent the next 34 years living on his own. It's called One Man's Wilderness. There's some different titles to it. One Man's Alaska, Alone in the Wilderness. And that was a guy who just said, screw it. I'm going to go live in Alaska by myself and get closer to the world, get closer to nature. And it turned out that they built a park around it. Well, I'm not going to spoil it. You look it up. Dick Pronicki, Alone in the Wilderness. So for those of you that are familiar with either Sam or Dick, you understand where I'm coming from. If you don't, and you kind of feel the way I do, you might want to introduce yourselves to them, and guarantee it'll be worth the wait.